Never say never, but right now I think he should be banned from the sport for life. But there needs to be, like, he has to come out, in my opinion, and tell the story of what happened. Like, he's saying, I didn't know this, like, what? So what? You were just putting things in you, like inject EPO, human growth hormone, without knowing what they were. Like, but at least tell the story. You can't say, oh, you know, the truth will come out. Tell the truth then. I'd respect him more if he come out and say, yeah, you know what? I thought to myself, I need to win this fight, and I got talked into by my training team or these people, my conditioners, that I should be taking this stuff, and I made a mistake. I'd rather that than like the statement's nothing. What he said it doesn't really say anything other than hold my hands up. What? So sorry. Yeah.
You already know. I couldn't do Rumble if I wanted to. We love this guy, and I want to be the voice because I'm the voice of what I've heard. I'm David Mills. Congratulations. It's great seeing Legend here. And
what do you mean? What? To be here?
I'm coming to hear your voice. If you don't know, you don't know. The buffer.
I think it's frightening because who else is doing it? You know, and like it's not. And again, my conversation with AJ half an hour ago was like, it's not fair. Like you've worked your nuts off to get to this position. Any man that on an even playing field that can beat you, they deserve it. Full respect. But anyone that's cheating and using those is criminal. You know, so it sickens me to think that you can do all that work in your life and in sport and get it taken away from you by someone who's cheating like that. You know, and again, it's not tennis, it's not a game of golf, it's not a 100-metre sprint, it's a fight, and it's dangerous, and someone's going to die caused by an injury by someone who's taking performance-enhancing drugs, and then we'll never be able to forgive ourselves, and the sport will be in tatters. So, at what point are people going to, you know, come? And I don't know who's going to come together. How it works over here enough, where the commissions come together, or there's a governing body set up for the sport of boxing. I mean, the WBC are doing a great job, but they can't do it all on their own. You know, they're trying to clean up the sport, but it needs help from promoters, from other commissions, from governing bodies, maybe from the government. I mean, really, the government should probably turn around and say, God, this is terrible for the sport of boxing in America. We need to set up some kind of global, you know, national testing program. But too many people turn a blind eye. You know that? Like it's almost like, you know, it's just he failed a drugs test. It's fighting. It's not like sprinting. It's not a game of tennis. It's fighting. And I think too many people turn a blind eye. Why? Maybe because there's a bigger problem than we know.
Eddie, the replacement.
Fighter is confirmed and basically found guilty of intentionally using and doping on a substance, they should be banned from the sport.
D-ball was intentional. We know that.
Well, you don't know anything about the case at all. You're following a case from Thomas Hansen. Let the truth come out. Okay. Let him have his say. At the moment, he's just presumed guilty, right? His case is his case. He will deal with his case. Nothing to do with me. I'll do the show, right? We'll get onto the show, and the show was, your next question is, you know, about the show.
No, let's backtrack a little bit.
Okay.
When did Eddie Hearn find out about the positive?
I can't talk to you about all it. But do you want the truth? You know it's a confidential legal situation for Dillian Whyte.
But
okay, all I'll tell you is I found out.
You found out before the fight?
Yes, I did. I found out, it wasn't long before the fight. I'll tell you as much as I can. And I know you think I'm trying to not, but I can't. Yesterday, I gave loads of interviews, and I got told off because there will be a legal case going on and a confidential case where Dillian Whyte effectively has to prove to all you people that he's
all boxing fans.
No,
not you
all
people.
No, all people.
All boxing fans.
No, all people around the world. Because right now, as you've read an article, he's guilty, right? Let him have his.
Same with Jarrell Big Baby Miller.
Bit of a different scenario. In fact, a massive.
2 drugs, no 3.
No, wasn't 2. No. Again, you're wrong. See, this is where you're wrong. You get your facts wrong every time. There wasn't 2 drugs. There wasn't 2 drugs. There wasn't 2. No, there wasn't. You're getting it for a boxing scene. Let the guy have his process, right? Okay. So I found out about it. We were told that he would have to open a B sample or have a hearing. Okay, this was like a day before the fight. It's impossible to open a B sample, get that done, get that tested, etc. The only choice he had was to present all the information and the facts from mainly, and again, this will come on out in time, VADA testing that he paid for. He had from 12 weeks out to the fight, which was tested rigorously all the way up, which a lot of that information will be eventually shared, and this is pivotal to the case, was presented before the National Anti-Doping Panel, which is an independent panel, basically assigned by UKAD, to hear a case.
What's your responsibility in all this?
Absolute. My responsibility is to follow the rules. I have a contract with both fighters that says you must be cleared by the Commission, the British Boxing Board of Control, right? And I've got to follow that contract, right? Now, he had that hearing, right? And
on July 17th.
Whatever the date was. He had that hearing.
18th?
I don't. Again, no. It was on the day of the fight.
The hearing was on the day of the fight?
On the morning of the fight.
Oh,
so by the way, and this is another thing where
it's even more incriminating.
Well, not really, because no, it's not, because that's the process. Because when it was heard, when we found out the information, that was the only option we were given. It wasn't me saying.
So that means you knew a couple of days prior. If you said that's the only option you had.
About 36 hours prior, because we had to have the hearing. That was what we were instructed to do.
Why wasn't the WBC notified?
Because they had nothing to do with UKAD. One, they had nothing to do with UKAD. Two, they have their own testing policy with VADA.
Who's sanctioning the fight?
British Boxing Board of Control.
Not WBC?
Well, the WBC have their own.
Let me get this.
Yeah.
It wasn't eliminated. It wasn't eliminated.
Yeah,
right?
but the British Boxing Board of Control and UKAD, which again, this is something you should look into. Their
So it
situation.
was multiple sanctioning bodies.
No, the commission, the commission, people commissioning the fight at the British Boxing Board of Control. Okay, so they had between them and UKAD and the fighter, and don't shoot the messenger with this. It's a confidential situation, right, with their testing. Again, I'm not UKAD. I'm not the British Boxing Board of Control.
You're not accepting no accountability though. Because the reason we're in a sensitive state right now.
But let me tell you something, right? When that case goes on, I cannot breach that confidentiality. Firstly, that's a rule. That's a fact. Number two, more importantly,
what supersedes rules? A man's life? No, for real.
No. But listen, I'm telling you, in a situation when there's a hearing, right, where a fighter has to be heard, if that fighter is cleared, the fight takes place. So I see your argument. Do you think I should have told Oscar Rivas? In my opinion, one...
And a WBC.
No.
And fight.
But that's not up to me, the WBC. That's the commission, dealing with the commission. This is where
but you knew. Okay, let me ask you this question. Would you want your daughter showing up to a fist fight when they're... No, listen, hear me out. No, we got to... No, let's be pragmatic.
Yeah, but you're missing the point. No, he was cleared.
I'm creating a point.
No,
I'm creating my
answer
argument.
this. Why was he cleared to fight?
That's something you have to answer.
No, I'm asking you.
He shouldn't have been clear.
I'm asking you. How do you know? You don't know no facts. You're sitting there. He shouldn't be cleared. You read an article on the boxing scene. That's your research.
There is some truth to it. There has to be some truth because you're out here.
Why did the governing body clear him? Answer the question. Answer the question.
You have to tell
You're a clown.
No,
you're a clown.
No, you have to
Everyone's
tell
laughing at you. You're a clown. You don't know no stats.
This
You're coming here.
This is your hometown.
No, mate, it's not my hometown. I'm from London,
I'm on your turf.
And you
I'm on your turf. You're deflecting at it.
I'm not.
You are deflected at it. You are deflected.
Answer the question.
Why
did the governing body clear him to fight?
That's your job to tell us. You're the promoter.
It's not my job to. It's the governing body's job and the commission to tell you that.
You know them. I don't know them. I have to get second-hand information from you.
Exactly. You just explained it really well.
You get the first-hand information.
You get second-hand information.
You get the first-hand.
Like a second-hand car.
You get the first-hand. I get
Next question.
You're deflecting at it.
So I'm not deflecting. You've got to get your facts right. You come
Tell
here.
us the facts.
The facts are, before the fight, he was asked to provide information at a hearing by a governing body. That hearing took place. All the facts were presented. He was cleared to fight. I am the promoter of the fight. I have a contract with the fighters that say if a fighter is cleared to fight by the British Boxing Board of Control, that fight is on. Speak to the governing body. Speak to the commission. Do your job. You're supposed to be a journalist.
And
right?
talk to you. Okay, now let's summarize the whole thing. The commission knew. Everyone else involved knew at least 36 hours, according to you. At least 36 hours knew. So that means Oscar Rivas' life was not as important as the fight going on, as the event going on.
You're deflecting from the situation.
No, I'm summarizing the facts.
He was cleared by the people in charge, not me. I'm not in charge of a national doping agency.
But you knew he tested positive at least 36 hours.
No. I knew he had to go and present information to the National Doping Agency.
Okay, I'm not.
Understand what you're talking about. Because you don't know what you're talking about. Ask yourself this, why was he cleared?
Okay, so let me ask you.
Answer the question.
So there was no PEDs involved?
I'm telling you, he was asked to present information.
Okay. So you're making the argument that there was no PEDs involved.
I'm telling
the
you.
other argument is no PEDs.
He had a hearing.
PEDs.
He had a hearing. Why don't you answer the question? Why was he cleared to fight?
That's for you to tell me.
I don't know.
You were there.
I wasn't. No, I wasn't. Again,
You were in the UK. You were in the UK. I'm not in the UK.
I wasn't in the
I was
hearing.
at Pacquiao Thurman. I wasn't there.
You're a clown. Come on, next question.
You're deflecting.
No. Come on.
September 14th, we're going to take over the Canelo fight. The date.
October, isn't it now? Oh, who's going to take it over? Well, there's the young man over there. You know.
What's that young man's name, man?
Mate, that's the brightest star in boxing. It's Devin Haney.
Devin Haney.
It's a superstar right there. He's getting a bit shy, Bill. He's gone a bit red, you know. Like, yeah.
Do we have an opponent from